And so what the web component standard is, it is a standard way for developers to author new HTML tags. And so instead of making, we have paragraphs, we have bolded text, we have headings, we have tables, right? You guys,
which are all elements people were used to. We're used to seeing those on, like when we're looking at a website.
You're in. Yeah,
that's the visual representation.
If you're one of the fortunate people whose job it is to go into Canvas and hit view source, because there's actually an accessibility issue in that content, and then modify the HTML. That's what I'm talking about, right? But this standard allows any developer to define new HTML tags that the browser interprets in a standards-driven way. And so let me give you, that sounds absurd, but let me give you an example. There is a video player, all right? And so the video player looks a certain way. You've probably gone on like X or Facebook or Instagram. Like everybody has a different video player, right?
Yep.
And if you were to right click in your browser and inspect, you would see HTML, and that HTML would look like a series of just random stuff, to be perfectly honest. But if you right click the video player in our application, you see a new HTML tag that you've never seen before, probably, that says video-player. And why that's important is that video-player has a standard way that I can deliver that definition to your screen, and that it looks the same way every time. And so inside that video-player tag, a whole bunch of HTML unfurrows, and you get a consistent user experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm processing it. My brain is fried a little bit. I'm thinking through.
No, I am, and I'll do some connection points to even what you were just saying. Like if I go to Facebook and I hit play on something, like when you say video player, that is the play button, the pause button, the volume button, the captions button, the full screen, all that junk. Whether or not sometimes it doesn't have that, right? You go over to YouTube. You've got the plus 10 seconds to skip forwards, or plus 30 seconds to skip forward. You've got the 2x speed. All those features, what you're saying in traditional context, or if I inspect those on those websites, are going to give me the library's definition or just the dictionary definition of hundreds of little tags and things. But if I go to your website and click on your video player, right, it's just going to say video-hyphen, and that's one library of a consistent set of features.
Yes, it's a so it's a standard of the browser that if I point to a file that is a JavaScript file that has video-player, it says this provides the definition for video player. I can ship that to your website. Even today, we have technologies that do that in our suite, and it will look the exact same way as it looks on my website. It'll look that same way in a Drupal site, a WordPress site, a static web page. It doesn't matter. And this is fundamentally different from the component libraries of before, because you had to learn a specific thing to build a specific full application.
Right. And so if I want those different pieces, I have to call those different components, the fast forward, the slow, the this or that. And that's why it gets so stacked, because YouTube or whomever is building it component by component, and they're arranging it. And that's what we see. It looks like one thing to us, but it's a compilation of hundreds of things, whereas yours is one thing. And when it comes to standards, a standards-driven world, the idea that I'm here is then I, as a novice coder with the most simple, my large form of coding was that person you just referred to, going into Canvas, viewing source, fixing the accessibility problem. Yeah. But I could put that video-player tag in anywhere that and it could work to pull your player in with my video.
As long as you can get the definition of what that is there, right? So yes, that's the idea. All right, so we're at that initial.
I'm tracking to this point.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Tracking.